I'd be staying up till 2 a.m. every morning, just editing for nothing, for absolutely nothing, until eventually 3 years later, 4 years later, it all starts to pay off.
Yeah.
In like an exponential way. And I was like, cool. Good to know that those 4 years of editing alone in my room were worth it. Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Inner West Hemp. Be sure to visit them online for all your CBD needs. This is the same company that I use daily, from tinctures to rub-ons to CBD gummies. Some of their products are even USADA approved. Be sure to use the code JAMP for 15% off at checkout. What's up, guys? Today's guest is a professional stunt performer and YouTuber. Please welcome to the JAMCast, Mr. Omar Zaki.
Hey, guys, what's up? Glad to be here.
Hell yeah, man. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Travis.
I appreciate it, man. This has been a long time coming because we actually met like a long time ago in a very interesting situation.
I think it was, thinking about it, probably 7 years ago, maybe?
I was going to ask you if you knew the exact year.
It was either 2013 or 2014, I think.
And to give everyone like a frame of reference, this was back when me and Ben Jenkins were still traveling the world doing workshops with the military. And one of the places we got sent a lot was Virginia because of the amount of bases over there. So we went and taught a workshop at Urban Evolution in Manassas.
Yep, Manassas, Virginia.
That's how to pronounce it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was working as a parkour instructor at that gym when Travis and Ben came to teach a seminar. And I hopped in the seminar and I got to take it for free because I was an instructor there.
Which was so cool, man. And it was really cool. Like we said, we didn't really even know if there was a community out there. So for us to go in and not only find a gym, but then actually find people that like knew about the sport, were really into it and stuff, was just really, really humbling for us. So.
Yeah, they the people that started the parkour communities in that area did an incredible job. And the gym, Primal Fitness in DC, with that Mark Turok is running, and then Urban Evolution franchise that Salil and his wife Malika started, it really, really just created an amazing community for that area. For parkour in that area.
I literally was like, I won't even lie, I was ignorant to the scene out there until we started doing research when we started getting flown out that area. And,
how can a person know?
Yeah, it's true. And what's really cool is that back in the day, like when parkour and stuff was really taking off, there was just Tempest Academy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And now it's just cool that there's these gyms all around the world.
It's everywhere. Absolutely everywhere.
Absolutely insane. I even saw like a parkour gym. I was at like Robex the other day, and I saw a flyer for a parkour gym in the Valley.
Really?
I didn't even know existed.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. Okay.
And I was like, wow, I live in the Valley. I should know this, Like,
right.
Holy crap, yeah. But absolutely insane to see the growth. And I think one of the coolest things for me about that personal experience meeting you was knowing that you were very much thinking about how you could continue to evolve through your movement, but also how you could make that a part of your career. And I kind of saw that from very early on, which is really cool because I hear and see this a lot, but very few times do I actually get the chance to fast forward and sit down with someone on a JAMCast.
It's really, really crazy. And I can't thank you enough for what you have done, for the community, and what you've done for me, because the way that you have operated in your life, it seems that you will never say no to helping a person, which is incredible. And that is how the community grows to the point that it is now. Because I remember after that workshop, I sent you probably a ton of questions about how to get into the industry and what SAG is, what a voucher is. I had no idea about any of this. And you crafted a long response, and you treated me with respect, even though at that point I was a nobody essentially in the movement community. And since then, I still would ask you questions every year, every 2 years, and every time you would send me just a thoughtful, legitimate response that would help me understand and then just help me grow in the community. And I'm sure that you've done that to probably every person that has sent you a question. And I've started getting these questions myself, so I can't even imagine the amount of people that reach out to you looking for advice and looking for just guidance in this industry. So the fact that you've done what you have to me and to the countless individuals out there is incredible. And again, the reason that the community is what it is now.
I appreciate that, man. It does start to get overwhelming. I sometimes almost feel bad that like if I can't dedicate the amount of time to give a proper response, I almost feel bad giving a half-assed response.
But I know you've got like an email now that you
I
can
do.
You just send
I
it
do,
out.
yeah.
And you were like, you know what? If I've got 100 people asking me, I'll just gonna make one answer and then just send it out to everybody.
Exactly. So if you guys have questions about stonework and you send me an email, I have a thing that I copy and paste that just really gives people like a groundwork to get going. But I think what's really cool to me though is that like you said, I get approached with that daily by hundreds of people. But very rarely do people actually take it to heart, and do I actually like see the progress very visually. And I think the coolest thing for me was that like we live in this digital age where I was able to see your growth progress over time through social media and stuff, because I obviously didn't live in the same city as you. But I got to see start to see like your little accomplishments along your movement journey and stuff,
All
which is
right.
really cool. You know? I think the first thing was obviously I started to see your involvement with WFPF back in the days when you started working with them.
Yep, I'm wearing a jump tank right now under this.
Yes. Shout out to World Freerunning Parkour Federation. I remember they were like sponsored you back in the day.
Yeah,
and
back in 2014.
gave you a bunch of gear and
Yep.
stuff. And that was shortly after. I know you had already been putting content out on YouTube for like a year or so before that, which is very interesting and stuff.
Yeah, my YouTube journey is weird. It started in, I think, either 2012 or 2013, just as a platform with my friends, just to upload these videos that we made.
Totally.
These terrible, terrible parkour videos that we made, just to have somewhere to put them for ourselves, not even for other people. But then our high school kind of started to see the videos. Excuse me. Our high school started to see the videos, and then, but we were bad. So they were like, "Are you guys the parkour people?" And we're like, "Yeah, we are." And then they're like, "Okay." And then when I went to college, people were meeting me as the parkour guy because I got into it about halfway through high school. So they were like, "Why is this track runner, like this scrawny track runner, trying to do a front flip?" But when I went to college, people were getting to know me as the parkour guy. And I just started doing more YouTube from there, and I made my own YouTube channel rather than my parkour team's YouTube channel that we had in the beginning era. And then it just spiraled out of control.
It's crazy, right? When Yo, Connor, pull up the 2013.
Oh boy,
dude. I was gonna ask you for frame of reference. Like, do you ever go back and watch old stuff, or when's the last time? Okay.
Absolutely.
And so this is the
no.
this is the oldest video to date on your channel that still exists up there.
Oh boy, look at how awkward and uncomfortable that boy is.
And so this is month 1 of your 365-day PK challenge.
Yeah, this is in my college freshman dorm. I would wait until no one was out in the hallways, then I would go out with my camera and set up this thing. That's in Dubai, actually, right there. Wow. Because I go to Dubai every year to visit my family, and this was in January. And I usually go there around New Year. So
how long have you been practicing at this point in this
video?
In
this video, this is
2013?
2013, yeah. So 3 years, 3.5 years, 4 years. Yeah, I started in November 2010.
Okay.
Is when I took my first official lesson.
And was your first exposure at Urban Evolution? Wow.
Not my first exposure. I'd seen tons of YouTube videos when I was growing up, like when I was 12 or 13. And was like, I can't do that. Cool. I'm going to move on. That's awesome. I thought it was like the most incredible thing in the world. But just decided that it wasn't something I could do and just thought I would just enjoy it as a spectator. But I always climbed things. I've always been into climbing and movement, and as I'm sure we all have been. And then I heard about Urban Evolution when I turned 16. My stepdad told me about it, 16 or 17. And he enrolled us in just like their super intro basic parkour class, how to jump, how to climb, how to do a parkour roll. And after that, my best friend and I, who took it together, we became just obsessed, just absolutely obsessed. And we literally dropped all of the sports that we were doing. Volleyball, swimming, soccer, track, dropped it all. And we were like, we're going to do parkour now.
No way.
And it just took off from there. And that's when we became like the parkour guys. And I started doing the 365-day parkour challenge a couple years in. Just took off, man.
That's so crazy to me, especially because just like from a generational standpoint, when I started getting into the sport back in the day, there were no gyms that even existed. There were no classes.
See, and, I think that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Really hard to believe, honestly.
Yeah, we just had open gyms, to be honest. Like, this is pre-Tempest era. This is pre-my gym, pre-White Lotus, pre-Jam.
Just all gymnastic gyms.
We're just going to gymnastics gyms, watching stuff on YouTube and just trying them. But it's so cool to fast forward, and someone like yourself was able to go take a class,
Yeah.
a structured class safely in a gym.
And it catapulted me.
Yeah.
Really catapulted me forwards.
Absolutely insane, man. And just a random question. It's not to do a comparison or
Sure.
anything like that, but do you ever like keep in touch with the people back at the old gym or any of the people that coached you in your beginner class? Are they still practitioners?
We spoke a lot while I was still living on the East Coast,
Okay.
because I taught there for a couple of years, and then some of them stopped teaching, then they would come back, or I left the gym, but I would come back to train sometimes and run into them.
Wow.
But I remember so clearly my first class, and I remember who taught it to me, and I remember their like demeanor and where they were sitting in the gym as they were teaching me. And 6 years later, I'd approach him and be like, "Hey man, I remember that intro class." He was like, "I remember teaching you. You were
That's
learning pretty
so
quick,
cool.
but you were really loud. Everything you did was really loud." I was like a destructive mover
No
in the beginning, yeah, and then I eventually learned to like control my movement. But yeah, I still remember that stuff and those people, and I'm just super grateful for the gym. And Urban Evolution is an incredible gym, especially the one that was in Manassas. Was one of the best parkour gyms, I believe, in the world, truly. And I got to teach there and train there for free.
Yeah, totally.
And while I was working there, again, that was just another springboard that just catapulted me even further, because I had this incredible gym to train in where everything was mobile, everything in the gym. So if you could jump 6 feet, you set it at 6 feet. Then you push to 7 and 8, and you could do that with everything in the gym.
Yeah.
So it made learning and teaching just incredibly easy.
And how often were you training at that point once you like got hooked on the bug? You know what I'm saying?
When I was making my best progress, I mean, the best progress was when I did the 365-day challenge, which was every single day. Now, it wasn't parkour every day. If my legs were shot, then I would do upper body training, do pull-ups, do whatever, just do some type of movement to further me in that direction. But yeah, there was a solid like 2 years where I was training at least like 5 to 6 days a week.
Dang.
Yeah, that's when I made the most progress.
That's crazy. Okay. And so were things coming natural to you at that point? Like you obviously talked about how you were in 4 different sports and stuff like that, but that doesn't always translate necessarily to the movement that we do in parkour and free running and tricking, so to speak. So.
It's very true. It's funny because at that point in my life, I'd already learned a front flip just on my own before I started parkour.
Just off natural athleticism.
Well, yes and no. I've always like flipped off of diving boards as a young kid, but I was never doing anything too crazy.
But you had no structured classes though.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so you're just learning.
Yeah, I was just flipping off a diving board into the pool, and then eventually I was like, I want to learn this on the grass, and I essentially just like flipped on the grass 3 weeks straight and landed on my tailbone until one day I eventually landed it in like a full squat, and it was a terrible landing, but in my mind, I was like, I did a front flip.
Totally.
And then that became my party trick, and I would only ever do it at some event like homecoming, prom, or something where I was super, super hyped and energetic, and there's like a cipher or circle going on, and people are doing like crazy dance moves, and I would just wait for the opening, and I would bust out one front flip, land in a full squat, like the ground would explode because it was so loud, and everyone would be like, oh, he did a front flip. Totally. And that was my party trick, and it was terrible. So I could already do a front flip, but it's just like my movement was very like explosive in a good way and a bad way. It meant that things that you needed explosive ability were great, like long jumps. I could jump really far. I could climb tall walls, but the softer side of parkour, like the flow and the sticking precision jumps, that stuff was really difficult for me. And twisting was learning to twist and flipping. That was tough. That was really tough for me.
Yeah.
Took me a while to get that stuff. And I was training with people that were picking it up like, first time they tried a Rudy, they were doing perfect Rudies. First time they tried like back double full, perfect. And I was just like struggling to keep up with them.
Yeah.
But then, just funny enough, those people just ended up not continuing with the sport. And I, who was struggling a lot more than they were, continued with it and have now progressed past them.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I have seen this with some people where they're so naturally gifted that they don't train as hard. And as a result, they just don't build up that like natural training habit of having to work hard for stuff.
Yeah.
You know, when you get to that upper echelon of moves, that's when you have to really put in the work because you're not learning things as quickly.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, it takes a little bit of time and dedication.
Yeah, but I was watching a lot of tutorials. I was finding every progression I could learn to learn a trick safely with mats, again, just building up to it, using different flips, and just work through the process.
Man, that's crazy. And one of the cool things about it was that you documented your journey online for people to see and for you to look back on and for us to review and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're like, oh, I got so many videos to look at of this guy.
Yeah, no, we did like a deep dive, and I was like, it's crazy to see all of the progress that's out there from, 6 years ago on there. Over time, have you like curated your channel? Have you deleted anything and stuff to to make it more cleaned up, or is everything just still out there for the
Not
world?
really.
Wow.
No, I wanted it to be real and authentic, and
That's cool.
to show the journey that I have gone through as an individual and a creator and a businessman essentially now, because my YouTube channel is essentially a business now.
Totally, yeah. And that's what's super crazy is to me is like, you obviously just started initially just putting out content for yourself, obviously doing the 365. At what point do you think that you really started going full-fledged YouTube, or did you just always kind of just do it for fun, and then once things went viral, you just figured, okay, now I can run with this?
I was forced to make a decision when I got sponsored by WFPF in 2014. I was starting to shoot with a good friend of mine named Ryan Glass, who is an incredible filmmaker. And our YouTube videos were taking off in our realm, like 50,000 views.
Totally.
I was getting interviewed by like the Washington Post and like my college newspaper. And I realized that things were happening. And I was like, this is all happening because I'm making YouTube videos. People are interviewing me. People are wanting to shoot with me. People are sponsoring me. And I was like, okay. And I had just finished my sophomore year of college. And after a long time of considering it, talking with my family, I was like, I'm going to take a year off of college, and I'm going to dedicate everything I am to this world.
Wow.
Because things were already happening, and I was only dedicating 50% of my time to it and the other 50% to school. And my mom was like, okay, you can take a year off, but you're not allowed to sleep in. And if I see you slacking off, you got to get back in school. Wow. And I was like, cool, deal. And that's when I started making YouTube videos every week, every Friday. And I think I made a YouTube video every week for about 80 weeks.
Wow.
About a year and a half. And that's when I was trying to become a YouTuber. I was trying to get myself out there, trying to train. And that's when I started monetizing my channel.
Yeah.
And the way YouTube worked back then was that it would show you how much money you were making, but it wouldn't actually send you the money until you reached over
threshold
$50.
Yeah.
The huge whopping $50. And I started making like 25 cents here, there, 25 cents here, 25 cents there. And I was like, oh my God, when am I going to get to $50 and get my actual money? I can see it online.
Yeah.
And then it took me about 9 months
Wow.
of working my butt off on YouTube to make $50.
Holy crap.
It was an incredible amount of filming, editing, planning videos. I had documents of what I was going to shoot, locations where I was going to shoot them, who I was going to shoot them with. 9 months to make $50. And then every month since then, and then every week since then, I now beat that threshold.
Yep.
And since I moved out here a year and a half ago, YouTube has completely supported me, and I've not had to work a side job since I moved out here a year and a half ago.
Yeah, which is incredible.
It's mind-blowing. I'm incredibly thankful for the people that helped me along the way, and any chance I get to essentially pay them residuals.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do. And it's given me the space and the time and the energy that I need to dedicate myself completely to my acting classes, to learning stunt skills, to voiceover workshops, to YouTube again, to more and better films. And yeah, it was just so much work back then for essentially no payoff, negative payoff.
Totally.
The kind of hours that I was putting in, I'd be staying up till 2 a.m. every morning, just editing for nothing, for absolutely nothing, until eventually 3 years later, 4 years later, it all starts to pay off.
Yeah.
In like an exponential way. And I was like, cool. Good to know that those 4 years of editing alone in my room were worth it.
Yeah, man. And it's absolutely insane. And obviously you've had a bunch of videos that, for lack of a better term, have gone viral in the sense that they've accumulated in excess of over 1 million views. You have tons of them that have hundreds of thousands. I would say the most popular one was probably Power Rangers.
Yep.
41 million views or something
41
like that.
million.
Which is insane to think about, right?
Oh, and that video... This was actually filmed by Caitlin.
Yeah, which is insane, right? And how long did it take you to produce this video?
We shot this in 2 days. We shot this on a phone. We shot this on my iPhone 6S Plus.
Yep.
And this was because I'd done another Power Ranger video a year prior, because I saw the market. I saw that this was when Ronnie Chalvis was starting to do the Assassin's Creed parkour videos with Devin Supertramp, the Mario and Luigi videos. And I was like, cool, people like costumes.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a $100 Power Ranger costume, and I'm going to make a Power Ranger parkour video. and I'm going to see what happens. And I made sure to release it around Halloween so that cosplay and costumes would be up and in the trend. And so I predicted it, and I was almost certain that the video was going to go viral.
Yeah.
I knew ahead of time, and I was okay with that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can accurately read the market. And the video, it exploded.
Yeah.
It exploded. And because I was monetizing my channel, it brought in a lot of revenue, and that video's got like over 11 million now or something. Wow. And then because that did so well, I did the second one a year later or something. And this is the one that got 41 million views. And like the video is terrible. The costume is terrible. And I understand that. And I'm not too great either. But I predicted the market, and I saw the trends, and I saw what was working, and I decided to stay ahead of the curve. And I mean, this video is essentially paid for
everything.
My living.
Yeah, 100%. This video alone.
Yeah.
100%.
And this took me probably like 2 days to edit. Like, this is such a basic video, but
so crazy.
And like, it's even got a terrible like to dislike ratio, but it went viral.
But and so like we've had other guys come on here and they're viral, and like we're not here to talk about like monetized amounts and stuff like that, but maybe something we could delve into to give kids an opportunity. You touched on how you timed it with October and Halloween and costumes. Are there any like specific tricks you did tag wise or anything, or titling it specifically, or do you think you just timed it right?
I mean, I made sure that the thumbnail was a thumbnail that would show what the video was about. Mm-hmm. Again, it was right at the point in time where parkour was really getting into the mainstream. Yeah. Again, with Ronnie Chalvis's and Devin Supertramp's videos. Totally. And so, and yeah, I did all the tags that, you know, were relevant: Power Rangers, tricking, parkour, Halloween, cosplay, all of that stuff that would have been relevant at that time. And it worked. All of it just completely worked. And I was just happy that I was in the right place at the right time. And I think there's a difference between understanding the trend and then doing something to take advantage of it. Because I think any parkour athlete could have been like, oh yeah, superheroes, costumes, like, yeah, that stuff's taking off right now. It's like, well, if it's taking off, like, that means that there's an opportunity that is available and open to anyone who's going to jump on it. And I was like, you know, I don't really care what people are going to think about this. I don't care. I'm going to do it and see what happens. And it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
100%, dude. I have some regrets even going back in my life. Back in the day, I had like a long-term girlfriend at one point who was very like anti-social media. Mm-hmm. And as a result of it, I kind of like stayed away from dedicating a lot of my time to YouTube and stuff, which is funny because I have an old channel from like 10 years ago.
Really?
Where I'm doing vlogs.
Really?
Before vlogging was a thing.
Well, maybe I got to go find some of your old videos.
It's funny. And I don't want to blast myself and embarrass myself, but there's like an old channel I used to have up there, and there's stuff called like, I would do like Travis Wong videos, and I would literally be like, I'm at a fashion show today, blah, blah, checking out my homie's fashion show. And like, yeah, I was vlogging, but then I just kind of like fell off of it.
You could have been Casey Neistat if you continued.
You know what I'm saying? It's so insane. But the moral of that story is that like, it just comes down to like doing it and like putting in the time and dedication.
Absolutely.
Because it's not just going to happen.
Yeah.
Like you talked about 4 years of hard work, and now finally, like, it paid off.
It absolutely did. And but so, that's really funny though. That's cool.
It's crazy, right? Yeah. And I'd say besides the Power Ranger ones that you've tapped into, the other major ones would be like, Connor, can you pull up one of the Spider-Man ones? I would say that the Spider-Man ones have had just as big of an impact on your channel as well. Like you have 3 to 4 of them that have hit, you know, almost in the tens of millions.
Paying you with these ads right now.
And again, I was reading the trends, and thanks for watching the ads, man.
We did just give you 3 seconds of play.
Great. That'll be like 0.0001 cent.
All adds up.
But no, especially again with the the Spider-Man ones, I made sure to read the trends and be like, okay, cool, there's a new Spider-Man movie coming out. Spider-Man's going to be on the rise. Let me get a costume 3 months ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Let me make a video and drop it 1 week before the movie comes out when Spider-Man is trending.
Super big.
Yeah. And it's because people are desperate for the movie to come out, but they don't have the movie.
They just want to watch stuff.
So they're looking for YouTube videos. And so I made sure to have something available. And then when the video game dropped, the Spider-Man PS4 did, that Ross and all of them worked on, like I made sure to drop a video right before that game or right after that game. That video took off. Like the trends are there. If you're just willing to take advantage of the trends and read the trends, then again, there's just a huge opportunity waiting for anyone who's going to take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, man.
And what's great about YouTube is that it's hard to lose on YouTube. Like, the people losing are the people paying for the advertisements, the actual advertisers themselves.
Yeah.
Like no one's paying to watch your content, so it's not a burden for them. They don't need to pay money to go sit down in the theater.
Yeah.
So you can send it to a friend of yours, and if they watch it, great, you made money off of it. And if not, whatever. But you don't have to ask for money from people to support your content. The people supporting it, all they have to do is sit down, maybe watch the 5-second ad before the video. Great.
Totally.
That's it.
Wow. No, totally. That makes a lot of sense. And I think one of the craziest things about your channel is that you've obviously been racking up all of these millions of views across all of these different viral vids. Connor, can you pull up the 100K? You officially passed 100,000 subscribers though, right? In 2019?
Yep, last year, I think like March of last year maybe.
And what's crazy to me about that is that you're now at 200 and something.
Yeah, like
so
215,
exponential growth.
Yeah, it is. The exponential growth has not stopped. I was at like, when I decided to commit to YouTube and do the weekly video, I think I had like 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
2,500 subscribers.
Yeah.
Which just means that like a lot of people think that people put in the work because they got famous or like because they got big. But it's like, that's usually not how it happens. People put in an insane amount of work before anyone even knows who they are.
Totally.
And then by the time people find out who they are, they see like the plethora of work that went into building themselves up. And like I had, 2,500 subscribers is essentially nothing. And yeah, since then it has just catapulted. I broke 50K. And then like a couple months later, it felt like I broke 100K.
Yeah.
And then like not that long after that, I broke 200. So
totally.
Yeah, it's almost like spiraling out of control.
That's wild. And so what's the plan right now? Do you have a continuous schedule you're continuing to upload and produce content on? Do you feel like you have to produce higher quality content because of where you're at right now? Or are you just in the same machine that you've been in?
There's definitely a lot of pressure now because of the success of the YouTube channel, and I now see the opportunity that it holds to obviously monetize the content and be successful with it for myself and any of the friends that happen to be in the videos with me. So there's the pressure to make content, obviously, but there's also, I'm also not trying to be like a professional YouTuber.
Okay.
It has sustained me, and I'm now trying to change tracks to legitimate acting and stunt work and voiceover.
Totally.
In the actual entertainment industry in Hollywood. Hey, we're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But obviously that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of time, a lot of its own dedication. And it's less about the numbers and more about the individual product that you release. People don't care if it takes you a year to make one video out here. If it's a good video,
If it's fire.
they'll watch it and they'll keep you on their radar and go, okay, that guy did that thing. Got it. Noted. No one's going to note if you like do 10 Spider-Man videos out here in Hollywood. And so, yeah, definitely shifted recently since I moved out here to creating better content, creating more original content. I'm trying to move away completely from non-original content. But the biggest video right now that I'm doing is I'm doing a sequel to a Power Ranger video that Caitlin and I did a year and a half ago, where we just fought each other one-on-one, and that got about 3 million on YouTube. And I was like, okay, cool, that did well. I'm going to do a sequel. And that was after I'd learned a lot about action filmmaking and pacing of a video and editing and everything. And I met a bunch of people as well around here that were helping out. And so the video is almost done. I've been working on it for like 7 months now.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's been like an incredible amount of hard work. 1 second, let me drink some water.
Yeah. No worries. It's crazy to think about though, that like that one video that has so many millions of views you shot in 2 days. And then you're talking about a video that you're producing right now,
7
but
months.
A sequel, 7 months.
Yep. And this video will probably get much fewer views
100%
than the one that I designed to go viral.
Yeah, probably.
This one I designed to be a good video.
Yeah.
But a 9-year-old doesn't care about story. They don't care about pacing.
Artistic value.
Yeah, they don't care about that stuff. Our friends do. My friends do. And so that's more important to me now. And yeah, I love the video. I think it's great. I can't wait to be done with it because I am kind of sick of it. But I guess that's how it goes as an editor when you're working on a project for like 7 months. But yeah, I think like right now the credits, it's got like over 26 stunt performers in it, just over the course of the video that have come in and helped me out. And I'm extremely grateful for all of the people that have come out for it, and I try to help them out any way I can by like throwing people $5 for coming out, $10 for coming out, just because I don't want anybody to come help me out for video that I'm going to monetize and hopefully make money from.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to come out and feel like I'm taking advantage of them, that I'm using them, or that they're actually going negative in any way by helping me out. If I know that they drove 20 miles to help me, I want to give them the gas money so that they don't feel like they've been abused. And then, like they're being treated with respect, and because they're just as talented as any of us. But I'm just lucky enough to happen to be in the place that I'm the one making the video right now. Maybe that'll change. Maybe they'll be the one later on in a good position. But I just want to make sure that I'm not taking advantage of any of the people that are kind enough and talented enough to dedicate to me their time, their energy, and their skills to make what I think is a pretty damn good video.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand, dog. And people will laugh about this all the time. Connor over here is like running JAMCast for me all the time, but people don't know I be trying to put him on as many stunt jobs as possible. Yeah. I always joke with him. I'm like, hey, dog, you free this day? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, that should cover a couple JAMCasts, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's great. And I'm sure he appreciates it.
Yeah, and funny enough, me and Connor are on set tomorrow morning. So.
Hell yeah. Stay safe.
That's funny, man. No, I appreciate it. And then just really quick, man, to kind of segue out of the YouTube stuff, but I think it's a question kids would want me to ask you. Equipment-wise, are you using any specialized equipment? You kind of referenced that you used an iPhone for the previous video.
I now have the camera that I shoot on mainly now is a Sony A7 II, the Sony A7 III.
Cool.
I've got the Ronin S gimbal, go with it. I work a lot with my friend Kyle. He's got a couple lights, like similar to these lights, that we use when we're shooting indoors. We have just video Rode Pro mics that we throw on top of the cameras.
Totally.
I'm editing in Premiere. I've got the new iPhone now that I shoot with if I need to. And other cameras that we shoot on Kyle Murillo's at Super Kyle. Kyle Murillo's GH5,
cool.
Panasonic GH5 when we're shooting, or no, GH4, one of them. But yeah, and it's a serious upgrade in equipment. It's the first like proper DSLR that I've owned, because I used to own a Canon T3i, which is way back in the day.
It is.
But yeah, so when YouTube was really, really doing well, I was like, okay, I need to take the money that I'm getting from YouTube and reinvest it into creating higher quality videos. And then again, something that our friends in our community is going to look at. They're not going to look at an iPhone video. They're like, what is this? But now we have a proper DSLR, and it takes way longer to make a video.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why this Power Ranger sequel is taking so long, is because we're using better equipment, and yeah, it just takes longer to get the shot with better equipment. But when you get the shot, it looks 1,000 times better.
Totally.
And our standards have risen a lot.
Okay.
And so we're very particular about when to move on from a shot.
Dope.
And I'm sure that we're only going to get more particular and have higher and higher standards as we continue to just grow and evolve in this industry.
Yeah. That's super cool to see the progress. And I'm sure all your viewers are seeing the difference in the cinematic quality and the equipment increases. So
yeah. It is funny though. I think people that don't work in the industry obviously don't understand that things take time.
Totally.
Especially the higher quality things take way, way more time. And so I told my audience a long time ago that I was doing this Power Ranger sequel, and like every video that I post, they're like, hey, where's the Power Ranger video? I'm like, it's coming, okay?
Yeah.
I'm literally editing every day for hours and hours. We'll see it. Just wait.
Yeah, we live in such a crazy like world right now where we're so consumption based. There's so many options of things to consume, whether it's short form or long form content. The people just want it. Yeah. They just don't realize what it takes. You know?
Especially when you can't just if I were just doing that one thing and
just
that was it,
yeah.
and everyone else was always available all the time for me and only me, then maybe it would have been done quicker, but that's not how the world works.
Yeah, totally.
Unless you got $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
And you're Steven Spielberg.
And that's when you can pay people.
Exactly.
That's super cool. Well, that's crazy, man. It's been really cool to see the success of that. And you kind of like segued into it by saying how you now are trying to put the focus more on the acting and the stunt performing and stuff. And I know one of the steps that led up to that, which is another reason why I wanted to have you on here that's like a unique perspective, is at one point you took over a year off to travel the world and be a part of the Marvel live shows.
Yes, I did.
Which is something that I didn't want to overlook because it's a huge part of your performance life and journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to play the character of Iron Fist.
Yes, I did. The immortal Iron Fist.
Yeah. And Connor, pull up that picture of Iron Fist, because I think on there I was gonna ask you at some point about like how many shows you did, but I think you actually put it in the caption of how many shows you did in one of them here.
Yep. I remember the number. Is it up there?
Yeah. How many is it? So 13 months, 40 cities, and how many? 275
shows. Yeah.
How many shows a day and week is that?
The average usually was about 7 to 10 shows a week.
Wow,
Usually we would travel Mondays. We would have off Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we would perform Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Cool.
Usually 1 show Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 3 shows Saturday, 2 to 3 shows on Sunday.
Wow.
And it varied every week from city to city, but that was the general schedule.
And was this your first major live show?
I done a smaller live show called All for One, which was a Three Musketeers themed live show in Virginia.
Okay.
And yeah, that was on a smaller scale, just in a theme park in Virginia. But yeah, the Marvel show was a huge step up from that, and performing in these massive venues, audiences of 5 to 10,000 people every night that we're performing.
Totally.
Yeah, that was an incredible experience.
Wow.
That was an incredible experience.
And what was that process like? Like, how did you hear about the show, and what made you decide to even audition in the first place? Did you have a desire to travel, or was it for the experience of being on stage?
I think I actually heard about it I'd heard about it originally from Ross, because Ross was on the tour very briefly, one of the earlier shows for a couple months, and I think I saw him post like a video of him doing like a TDR cork or something on stage as Spider-Man, and I was like, what was that? And it was called Marvel Universe Live. Yeah. But then after I did the All for One Musketeers stunt show, one of the other performers sent the audition to all the cast members. It was like, hey, this other show is auditioning. You guys, everyone should audition for the show. And what was funny was the Three Musketeers stunt show, I'd actually moved to LA in 2016, where I bumped into you at a Target, if you remember. Yes, I
do remember
the night that I moved to LA in 2016.
So crazy.
After like telling Travis Wong, I was like, hey man, after all this time, I'm going to move to LA. And he was like, cool, hit me up when you get out here. And I got in the night I go shopping at a Target, and I literally hit Travis Wong. Whoa. And was like, that was crazy.
That's so wild.
But so yeah, then I was in LA for like 2 months in 2016.
Yes.
Booked the Three Musketeers job, and then left for 3 months.
That's when you went back.
And that's when I went back.
Yes,
and I was planning on moving right back to LA after the 3 months.
Yes.
But I heard about the Marvel audition, and it was on the East Coast. So I stayed in Virginia. I did the audition, and I booked it. And they were like, cool, we start rehearsals in April, which was in 4 months. And I was like, well, I'm not going to move back to LA for 4 months and spend all my money trying to just get my ground. So I just stayed at my parents' house in Virginia for 4 months. And then, the show started, and it was 2.5 months of rehearsal down in Florida, building the new show, because there was a Marvel Universe Live 1, which was their first show, which they did for 3 years. And then I came on right in the middle of the first show and the second show. So we were building an entirely new stage show, and we did that for 2.5 months, and then we went on tour for about 11 months around just the U.S. I think they're currently in like South Africa right now, but I'm obviously not on that tour anymore.
Yeah. That's crazy. And what was the most challenging thing about that show? Because live shows are a whole different beast than filming and cutting and editing.
Yes. It was... Doing that show, you got so familiar with exactly how much energy it was going to take to complete the show and to do your job. And you know exactly how much energy it's going to take before every show. And before every show, you're like, I don't have that right now. I do not have the amount of energy that I need to complete this show. And every show, you do it. You somehow get through it. But for me, my character, Iron Fist, obviously, master of Chinese martial arts, so he's in a lot of deep stances, big powerful stances, and he's an acrobatic character. So I'm doing tons of flips in the show, tons of deep stances. My legs were fried.
Wow.
Every single day for the 13 months were completely exhausted.
Dang.
And it's because my other tracks in the show, one of them was like the Chitauri alien creature. They're also down low to the ground. And so, again, it's all legs. And it literally is just my legs were in like a permanent state of fatigue for 13 months. Now, thinking back, I probably could have done more to like rehab and take care of it, ice baths and Epsom salt baths and whatnot. So that's my own fault. But yeah, that was the hardest part.
Dang, did you ever have any like slip-ups or mishaps or injuries because of the fatigue? Or
not because of the fatigue. Sometimes like my back would just get really tight, and I wouldn't be able to perform. But there was another, Iron Fist performer, and he would go in and do some killer shows. Brett Metter, who recently moved out here. What's up,
totally.
Brett?
I know who
if you're watching. But other than that, it's just, I don't know, you just suck it up and you do your job because you know that the other 50 or 40 cast members are going through the same thing that you are, and that's the beauty of a live show, is that you spend so long with a single group of people, and you all know that you're struggling and that you're trying to get through this, and you just got one more show, one more week, and you're all suffering through it together, and it just creates this really, really powerful bond between the people at the end of the show that you all know that you couldn't have done it without everyone else putting in their blood, sweat, and tears to pull off that show for those 10,000 people that paid their money, that have no idea what's going on, and they don't care what's going on, and they shouldn't care what's going on, because it's your job as a performer to suck it up and just do your job.
That's wild. Yeah. Was there a favorite city or place that you got to visit over the course of those 40 cities?
Probably Denver, man.
Denver, Colorado?
Colorado is...
I was not expecting that.
Colorado, it's the most beautiful state. It's the most beautiful city. Like, it's so perfect for outdoor activities. It's just, the architecture is beautiful. Like, that is like the parkour mecca of the U.S. Like, freaking Apex out there created an amazing community. It helps that all their locations are, like, incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, Denver was great. San Jose, California was amazing. Portland, Oregon. Yeah, what was great about our tour is we were on the A-list tour, which goes to all the major cities.
Major cities.
Yeah, the tour after that was like the minor cities that you've never really heard of.
Yeah, but the smaller market cities.
Yeah, what was great is we went to like New York City, we went to San Francisco, we went to Tampa, Florida, we went to Los Angeles, California.
Totally.
Like, yeah, it was amazing.
And what made you realize this was the end?
I mean, I knew that I had gotten from the show what I was going to get. And I also made sure that every spare moment that I had was dedicated to my YouTube channel, because I knew that Los Angeles was the next stop to go back to LA, which I'd been away from for 2 years. And obviously LA is an expensive place. And so I was constantly working on my side business, essentially my YouTube channel. And while other people are maybe, you know, going out to bars or something and spending their money, I was like, no, I need to save every dollar, because I don't know what's going to happen to LA. And because of it, and I've kind of lived my life like that. I've always been a saver. I've always saved a lot of money. A lot of my friends are spenders. I'm a saver.
Wow.
And it's because of it that I'm
a spender,
sitting here in LA, like, not worried, because I'm a saver.
Totally.
That I've got something to fall back on, and it's my past self. I'm falling back on my past self, which is really, really nice. But I knew that I'd gotten what I could from the show, and it was the only reason I would have stayed would have been for more money. I wasn't going to gain any more experiences. I wasn't going to get more skills. At least nothing that I couldn't get in LA faster, because I'd have more time to work on it. But yeah, and 13 months in hotels, it's a long time.
Believe me.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I bet you know.
Yeah. I've spent like, I'd say 7 of the last 10 years of my life in hotels.
Dang, that's a lot of hotels.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Pros and cons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't need to make your own bed.
Yeah, true story. And I do like room service sometimes. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and free breakfast sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'm the spender, you're the saver. I was like, room service, he said free breakfast.
Hey, I mean, the buffet, it's already down there, man.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's too good, man. And so how many years officially have you been in LA now, post-tour and everything?
A year and a half. Moved out here June 2018.
Wow,
so I guess a year and 7.5 months.
It's pretty good though, man, because that just means that you train and put out a lot of content, because I feel like it's been like you've been out here longer than that, honestly.
Good, great.
It's felt like longer, so it's cool. You're definitely a fixture at Jam. We see you training there and stuff all the time.
Working hard, man.
You're now a part of mine and Connor's family. We're all part of the CTG Clear Talent group.
Yeah, we are. That's right. That's right.
Trifecta. Shout out to
Clear
CTG.
Talent.
Yeah, much love to Clear Talent. Who have been really good to us. And so what's the focus for you now? You kind of mentioned it before, but what's your like game plan Monday through Fridays out here now in LA?
It's pretty much learn and do anything and everything that I possibly can to improve myself as a performer.
Okay.
That's acting classes. I'm taking acting classes, taking voiceover classes.
Nice.
I'm training stunt skills a lot. Obviously fighting, parkour, boxing, stretching, kicking, just doing everything I can to level myself up as a performer in every aspect of the word, to be ready for absolutely any opportunity that comes my way. And I'm also pursuing everything all over the place, because I don't want to limit myself. And I've never been able to limit myself. It's why I played soccer, and I was a track runner, and I played volleyball, and I was on swim team and dive team and learned to juggle for no reason. It's because I've never been able to limit myself. And it seemed to have worked out pretty well so far. Not limiting myself has led me to where I am with parkour skills, with martial arts skills, with editing skills, with shooting skills, with public speaking skills. Because I used to take and like compete in public speaking competitions and whatnot. And so I'm not going to stop limiting myself. I feel like Los Angeles is almost designed to pressure you into picking something. And I almost let it, and I'm not going to let LA pressure me into picking something.
I feel you on that. I not
you're
to
a
credit
great
myself.
You're a great example.
I try not to put all my eggs in one basket.
I
try
know.
to like diversify the portfolio.
Yeah, and it's probably part of the reason why I can confidently say that it's going to work out, because I'm sitting here across from you, who I know had his hand in the hosting world and his foot in the movement world and in the business world with the gym, and now the podcast world and the clothing brand world. Like, yeah, you are proof that it's possible.
I appreciate that, man. And you're proof as well, man. Like I said, to meet a kid who is teaching and taking a workshop of mine to now like sitting down in a chair across from you and talking about like all your accomplishments over the past
represented
few years.
by the same people.
It's surreal. Yeah, we're at the same agency, you know? Like it's all full circle, man. And when I first contacted you about being on the podcast, you were like, you know, not to put you on blast, but you almost were like, really, you want to talk to me? And I was like, 100% I want to talk to you. There's a lot that I need to talk to you about. And I'm glad that we got to kind of.
Yeah, and I appreciate you reaching out to me.
It's crazy, man. And you kind of gave some like really, really solid advice about like, you know, what to do in your individual path to get here and stuff like that. But looking back over everything you've done, and this is like a hard question, summing it up, but is there anything that you regret or would have done differently? And if not, do you have any advice for like a little kid that's growing up in Virginia right now that wants to do exactly what you are doing when they're your age? Can you save them any time or give them any advice to do so?
First off, do I have any regrets about movement stuff? Not really, because my path has been my path, and it's just been my path. Mm-hmm. Advice to a little kid growing up in Virginia right now that wants to do what?
Be you.
Be me. I would say learn. Don't think that you can't do something because you can't do it in the moment, because nobody can do something until they take steps to do it. There were a lot of things that if I looked at myself now, I would have thought that I would have never been able to be a video editor, to be a competitive parkour athlete, to be a YouTuber. These are things that I did not think I'd be able to do, and then I decided to do them anyway because I wanted to.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I would say don't think that you can't do something because you can't do it yet. And I would also say try to learn absolutely everything that you can, because you have no idea when it's going to come in handy and when people are going to start coming to you asking for your skills and asking for help because of the skills that you dedicated and the time that you dedicated to learn those things that you have. Yeah. Like the 4 years that I did editing.
Totally.
And now people are coming to me to edit previses, to shoot and edit previses, because I've got editing skills. I know VFX. I know sound design. These are things as I was learning them, I was like, oh, this is pointless. Why do I need to do this? And now it is saving my butt because I have learned that stuff. And I would say, don't ask for help in the beginning with something. Like, don't ask someone to do something for you if you haven't given it an honest attempt to learn it yourself, because that's how you learn, is by taking initiative. And if you never try to learn something new, you will never learn something new. And so I'm at the point now where I will literally not ask for help for something unless I know that I have tried to do it myself and had not been able to do it to the point that I want to do it at. And then I'm like, okay, now let me ask for help. But you know what? I learned so much along that process that the next time I try, I'll get a little closer and I'll have more information in the beginning. And that's how you learn parkour. You learn gymnastics, you learn video editing, you learn how to shoot with a camera. It's because you try and you look at YouTube tutorials and you read manuals and you do absolutely everything that you can to get good at the things that you want to be able to do. And that you, like, when I envision, probably, I think what it is like, I think that people like to envision themselves as a superhero. It's like, okay, well, what would you want to be able to do if you were a superhero? Because it's probably possible.
Mm-hmm.
Just put in the time and put in the effort, and it is absolutely possible. When I first started watching parkour videos when I was 12, I did not think I could do the things that I was watching. And because of it, I didn't do parkour for 4 more years because I did not think I could do it.
Yeah.
When I started, I was actually pretty good at it in the beginning. I was learning very, very quickly. But if I had started 4 years earlier, when I was 12, you learn really fast when you're 12, man. Yeah. When you're a 6th grader, when you're middle school, I could have been, who knows how much better I could have been if I'd trusted myself then. So I'd say, again, if you want to do something, if you're interested in it, just do it. Nike, just do it. Shouldn't have said that.
I was going to say, yo, hashtag Nike. That was a perfect promo.
As I was saying it, I was like, wait a minute, I shouldn't be saying this at all.
No, that was perfect, man. And I...
Nike is in the Greek god, not the company.
I completely agree with everything you said, man. And along the lines of that, like, you know, for any of the kids out here that may have messaged me before and gotten a shorter answer than they expected, if you message me with a question that I know you can Google or YouTube the answer
completely, man.
I'm not going to dedicate the same amount of time that I will to someone like you,
Thank you,
that asked me a question years ago where I'm like, oh, this isn't stuff that's readily available. And if he's thinking about this question and having the courage to ask me, then I'll answer it. But if you ask me a question I know I could Google or ask Siri,
thank you, man.
I'm not going to give you as much of my time.
Very well said. Yeah, if you're not going to take the time, why should I do your homework for you?
100%.
Yeah.
100%, man. And so this is a question that I ask everyone, and as a viewer of the JAMCast, I'm sure you knew this was coming, and there's no wrong or right answer. Some have no answer. But
5 year, 10 years.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now, man? And where do you see yourself in 10 years from now?
It's funny. I was actually driving over here thinking about that because I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
It's
and
coming.
I'm like, and I decided not to think about it.
I have no pre-planned questions, but that's a standard one.
And it's a great way to go out. My 5 year plan, let's call it my 5 year plan. My 5 year plan is to become a force in this community, in Hollywood, not just the stunt community, but I want to be known as an actor, a legitimate actor.
Oh.
I want to be known as a legitimate voice actor, a legitimate stuntman, a legitimate filmmaker. I want to become a force in this community as a whole. That's 5 years, which means I got a lot of work to do in those 5 years, but it's already...
It's a lot of time though too. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And it's because I have goals like that I know I'm going to work my butt off to try to achieve those goals. And even if I don't, I'll be way better off than I am right now because I decided to put in a ton of work. Submitting to film festivals, going to continue to make bigger and better action shorts with my friends. We're planning on, one of my goals for this year is to submit something to a film festival. 10-year plan.
Oof.
That's harder. I want to get to the place in my life where I can help a lot of the people that I can't help right now. I donate to charities when I can, here and there, but there's a lot of problems in this world right now.
Yeah.
And I think the only way that I can help on the scale that I would like to be able to help is to be the best performer that I can, hopefully have a lucrative career in the performing industry, and to be able to help the world with my success.
Yeah.
So that would be the 10-year goal.
Dope.
Is to hopefully get to a point where I can start helping on a significant scale, because I do a lot of traveling. I know you do a lot of traveling as well. There are a lot of parts of the world that are not the United States, that are not, even here in Los Angeles. There's a lot of people here that need help. And I try to help out every homeless people when I can, when I've got cash on me. And I'm sure a lot of the people that we know, and I'm sure you do as well. So yeah, that would be the 10-year goal.
It's a noble goal.
To be in a position to help others in a life-changing way, but not by myself, because obviously I'm not the only person out there that's trying to do that.
Hell yeah. Well, it's definitely a noble goal. Not everyone is able to take a look at problems greater than their own and, be able to assess it. But there's real issues going on. Just here in North Hollywood, you can see an incredible amount of poverty in certain areas.
Yeah.
And, I'm right there with you, man. So,
because I know at the end of the day, I am able to live the life that I have lived is because of the family that I was born into, because of the hard work that my parents did and their parents did and the situation that they were in. And most of my situation wouldn't have been possible without the situation that I was born into. I didn't realize growing up that I was growing up in the number 2 county in the United States.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Fairfax County.
Yeah.
And the number 1 county is next door, Loudoun County. They are next door neighbors. Didn't know that growing up. But growing up, I had a great life. And I'm like, wow, this is a really nice area. And then you travel, and then you see the rest of the world, and you go, oh, the rest of the world's not like this.
Yeah.
And so I understand that there are other people that could be you or could be me, but we're just born into a worse off situation.
100%.
And so I just want to, I don't want to discredit someone because of the situation they're in, and understand that they're not there because of them. Sometimes they are, but sometimes people are just born into a bad situation. So yeah, again, just want to try to help people because everyone's got a dream. Everyone's got a dream, but just because they're not able to achieve it in the moment because of their situation doesn't mean that they couldn't be very, very helpful in this world that we live in.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Everyone just needs a shot. And everyone also needs to try to take those chances because they don't just always come to you. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. I appreciate all the insightful advice. It's insane for me to sit down here and have this talk with you. And like I tell everyone, as you know, hopefully this isn't the last time. Hopefully we have a talk in the near future.
Let's talk in 5 years, man.
Yeah.
See what's going on then.
Let's talk sooner. Let's definitely talk and use this as a platform as much as you have yours. And, remind us when the Power Ranger video is coming out. We'll shout it out.
I will. Let's
do it, man. So, before we get out of here, dude, can you just look into that camera and just let people know where they can follow you and stay up to touch with everything you're putting out?
Absolutely. So, again, my name is Omar Zaki. You can follow me on Instagram at Omar Zaki0. On YouTube, just type in Omar Zaki and IMDb Omar Zaki if you're that kind of person.
Heck yeah.
In the Hollywood community. Yeah. OZ.
Hell yeah, man. And thank you so much for coming by. And as always, guys, please be sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe for brand new episodes each and every week. Join us every Monday for brand new jam breakdowns and every Friday for brand new JAMCast, interviewing influential members of the movement community like Mr. Omar Zaki himself. And as always, guys, got to give a very special shout out to Mr. Connor Simon for running the cameras in the Switcher app as always. Got to give a very special shout out to our guest this week, Mr. Omar Zaki. And as always, guys, I'm your host, Travis Wong, coming through. Thanks for joining us here on another JAMCast. Till next time, we'll see you all soon. Peace.